Hello, crafty cuties. I am finally getting my vacation slash summer journal put together, and I am going to be using this for my journal cover. So if you did not see, I made a vacation junk journal prep video, and I'll have that linked below so you can see everything that I'm going to be using. But I'm actually using a journal kit that came from Amore Fabrics, and I'm going to try and just use the things that had come in the kit, plus maybe a few scrapbook paper pages from this paper pad right here. I don't think I'm going to need a very big journal, so I am trying to figure that all out to do in today and do the prep work today. So I am trying to figure out how many pages I'm going to need, number one, and then we will start by gutting this book. So I'm hoping that I can just use this hardcover journal as is just by taking the pages out. So let's just get started with that, and then we can go through. So I already have, this is all of my things from my vacation. So I'm going to go through and figure out how many photos I actually want to use so that I can count and get an accurate number of how many pages I would probably need, because I hate when my journals end up too big or too small. And I'm probably going to combine those vacation photos with the rest of our summer photos, so I'm going to need to get those printed as well, but we'll still be able to get started today. And we're just going to go ahead and gut this book. I have a full in-depth video showing how to gut a book and how to cover it with fabric and everything. That is on my channel, so I'm going to try to do this very carefully. So sometimes when you do this, you can crack the spines, but I think this one kind of seems like it's going to be okay. If I crack the spine, I'm just going to be okay with that, and I can cover the spine with fabric. But let's just try. So I'm basically trying to pull the book apart from the spine here, and it's pretty easy on these Reader's Digest books. And I'm just going to take my scissors. You could use a blade too, but when I've used a blade, I accidentally cut through all the way. So I'm just going to try to cut all the way down, and you can kind of work by cracking the spine if you need a little bit. Not the spine, but like where the pages are attached to the spine. And I kind of need to put this closer to my face, so I might not be able to film all of this here, but I'll have that in-depth video linked below. But you can see here, I'm just gonna go little by little and just cut away this whole text block. That's what this is a text block. So I'm gonna try to cut this all the way down and then just copy it on the other side, and then we'll be left with just the hard cover. Once you get one side cut off, the other side's much easier in my opinion, but I did accidentally crack a little bit of the spine, so I'm just going to end up covering this entire dark blue part with some type of a fabric, and I think it will actually look cute, and it will actually be a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll last a lot longer that way anyways, so I'm not mad about that. I try to just go with the flow when I'm reusing like vintage items and things like that, because it makes the process a lot more pleasant. So I'm just going to finish cutting this text block out on this side as carefully as I can, because even though we'll be covering it, I still want it to stay intact. But you got to really pay attention to where you're cutting through. So now I have all of these book pages that I can use in my journal if I wish, but I'm going to set it aside for now and trying to decide if I want to work on the cover or start with the pages. I'm going to go ahead and start with the pages since we already know what size our journal is going to be. And before that, I'm going to go through and kind of estimate how many pages I want to be in my journal. I'm actually going to make two signatures. The first signature is going to be the first half of my summer, which is mostly going to be the vacation pictures with a few others mixed in there. And the second signature will be the remaining part of my summer up through probably the end of August. So I'm going to leave myself a little bit of space in that journal. So I'm just going to work on estimating how many pages I will need That's just something you'll have to do, you know, on your own depending on how much space you think you'll need. So I'm going to go through and estimate how many pages, and then I'll be right back and we can put our pages together. Okay, so I am wanting about 80 pages total. That's going to mean that we need about 10 full pages, because when you fold one page, you are left with 4 pages. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I only need 10 full pages, and in this kit, I have more than enough to complete that. However, like I said, I want a few scrapbook pages just to kind of make it super sturdy. So I'm gonna go through here and pick out what pages I think I'll use. I want pretty blank canvases because I kind of want space to decorate. So I'm just gonna go through. I'll probably choose, let's see, I wanna use the coffee dyed papers for sure. I'll probably choose like 6 of these pages, and then 4 scrapbook pages. I'm gonna use some of the dictionary pages. I love this type of paper. This looks really interesting to me. I might save this page right here for decorating the inside, so I'm gonna set that aside there. Just kind of going through and seeing what, this is really cool, so I'll probably use that. Now I try to keep in mind though that a lot of these pages are probably going to get covered up. I'm gonna save these smaller things for journaling, journaling spots and maybe tags and things like that. So I'll try to maybe have an episode where we can go through and just make some tags and journaling cards, and this would be great for that as well. So let's see here. These would make really cool journaling cards cut out, so I'm going to save that. I might use this because it would be a cool spot just for like a pocket or something like that, so we'll count that as a page. Okay, let's see. I'm going to set these extra pages aside. They can be used for decorating or something like that. Let's see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I don't need that many, so I'll save. So I'm not going to count this, but let's see. Trying to decide which one I want to get rid of here. I'm going to put the music paper away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm still going to choose about 4 pages from this here. And we might have just a little bit. Oh, this is cool. I'm going to use that definitely. This one. Let's see. Find one more page in here that I really like. This paper pad is really cute, and I got it from Michael's. I like the cameras a lot, so we'll choose that one. So now we need to cut all of these pages down to the page, or down to the size of our journal. So the journal cover is about 5 1/4 inches by around 8. So I'm going to cut my pages all down to 10 1/2 by maybe 7 3/4, because that's going to make it just a tiny bit smaller than our cover. And I probably will add lace to the edges of these. I haven't decided yet, but that's what I'm going to work on now. So this one's already the perfect size, but I'm going to just go through and trim everything down to about 10 1/2 by 7 3/4. And if I have pages that are smaller, then I don't need to do anything with them, because that's totally fine to have some smaller pages as well. I just need them to at least be this size. So I'm going to go through and cut these all down, and then I'll be back and we can start working on putting these signatures together. So I am to the scrapbook pieces, and what I have in mind for these is, since I am going to have 2 signatures and I have 4 pieces of paper, I'm wanting there to be 1 folder in each signature, and then I want each signature to have kind of an outer folder with this scrapbook paper, since it's a little bit more durable. So I'm going to go through and just figure out, I think I want this to be one of the signature covers, I guess you could call it, and maybe this one right here. So I'll still cut these down to that same size, but for the folders, I am going to trim down to, let's see here. Let me think about this for a moment. I'm still going to trim them down to 10.5, but we're going to keep them a little bit longer so that we can create some simple folders. And this will be a good spot to tuck some things inside because I do have a lot of extra little pieces. I'm going to cut off the branding strips here. And then instead of cutting at 7 3/4, I'm actually just gonna, I have both of these pages here, I'm just gonna kind of fold down so I can see where I need to fold. And I'm just going to, I'll show you with one here. I'm gonna fold that up like so. And then when we fold it in half, we will have a folder. And I might trim this down or make a prettier edge, but for right now you get the idea. And I like putting the folders in the middle of these signatures right there. So you can see that's pretty much a folder there. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to do the same thing to this one, and then I'll cut these down. Now that I have my pile of pages, I'm just going to go through and fold everything in half and set them aside as we go. And then I can figure out what pages I want to be in each signature. I left one a little bit longer so that, let's see here, so that I could have a little fold out. And you can do that with as many pages as you want. I just know that personally I don't use fold outs as often as I think I will sometimes, but I'd like to have one in there. But everything else is just getting folded in half. And then we can create our two signatures. This page is really fun. I'll have to try to do something with it, but I know it's probably just gonna get covered up, but that's okay. All right, we have all of our pages cut and folded. So now I'm going to I'm gonna start off with one, there we go, one of my folder covers, and I actually ended up having a little extra here that I just kept on. But I'm gonna go ahead and just start taking some random pages and putting them inside of one another. And let's see here, try to change it up kind of. And remember that we are going to end off with one of the folders like so. And I'll finish this later, but just kind of getting the pages put together is what I like to do. Okay, and now just finish by putting these inside one another. I try to mix the pages up a bit and have them kind of go in different orders. Like this. That's weird. See, this is right side up and then this one's upside down, but that's okay. I'll figure out something with that one. And then we have our folder in the middle. So now we have our two signatures. We have about 80 pages, probably a little bit more since I used a little bit more. And I think I left one page a little too long, so I'm going to trim that off. Now we can just double check and make sure these will fit inside our cover, because I've had that happen before where I cut the wrong size and they fit perfectly. So now we have our signatures kind of mapped out, which is a big part of this. So the next few routes that I could go with this are going to be pretty long processes. I'm either going to work on like adding last minute touches to the pages like lace and things like that, or starting the cover. So I'm actually going to end this here. You got to see kind of my thought process for starting this journal. I have a lot of fun ideas for the journal cover, so even though I'm going to keep this whole book, you know, intact, I am still going to decorate it, add some metal embellishments, maybe a tassel. I'm going to make embellishments. I'm going to, you know, decorate the pages further. We're going to do all of that before even working in this journal. So hopefully I can continue sharing those processes with you guys if you want to see what I am doing to put this journal together and to work in it. I hope that this first part was somewhat helpful to you guys. Definitely give the video a thumbs up if you want to see more, and leave any questions down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.